Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with me, and we are going to make a fall lantern. But the lantern is going to be 7 by 7, and it's going to be about 14 inches tall. So it's going to be plenty big enough to do whatever you want to in here. You can do a little terrarium in here. You can put a candle, a big large candle inside. We're going to make it with chipboard, and we're going to paint it white. It's going to have a little ring at the top of it. So we're going to do all of this. Now this is probably going to take a couple, maybe 3 videos. I'm not sure how many, because I'm not going to go too fast, because I want you to be able to make everything that I'm making. Now I'm going to tell you the chipboard pieces that you're going to need to go ahead and cut. And I made all of this out of 2 pieces of chipboard and then just a couple of little scraps that I had. But I'm using a medium weight chipboard. You can use a heavy weight if you want to. Just don't use a lightweight because it won't hold up. So you're going to need 2 pieces that are 7 by 7, 1 piece that's 5 by 5, 1 piece that's 3 by 3, 12 pieces that are 1 inch by 7 inches, 4 pieces that are 1 inch by 5 inches, 4 pieces that are 1 inch by 3, and then 4 that are 2 by 10. And I'll show you what you're going to do with those in a minute. But I will have that written down over on my blog, so you'll be able to go over there and just copy it down. Now, I have already started on the bottom of mine. This is the 7 by 7 inch piece right here. And then these are the 1 by 7 inch pieces that I have just used my construction strips and put them on. I put the ones on the top side, and then I flipped it over and I put the ones on the bottom side so that it'll sit up like that. Now, if you didn't want to make a bottom like this, you could just make a solid bottom and then put some feet on there. You can do that too. I just wanted mine to sit up a little bit like that, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and put these pieces on here and show you exactly what we do. Now, if you've never used construction strips before, I know we have a lot of new subscribers, so I'm going to show you exactly how to make a construction strip. Now, I take this is a really hefty cardstock, and it's a craft cardstock. It's pretty thick. Don't use a thin cardstock because it won't work. Just get you kind of a thick cardstock. Cut it at 1 inch, just 1 inch strips, 1 inch by 12 or 1 inch by 11, whatever you have. And then you're going to score it right down the center at 1. And then you're going to take your adhesive, and I used the 1/2 inch score tape. And you're going to run that score tape right up at the edge of that fold where you did the score line on both sides. Alright, so that is your construction strip. As you see, it folds in half. There's my fold right there, and I've got tape on both sides. That's how we put things like this together. All my 3D projects are put together like this, and they're still holding up well. Now, one thing to do is go ahead and burnish down your score tape. And if you have any little places like that that are a little bit wider, that don't have score tape on them, put a little bit of glue on there. You want to glue all of this down so when you paint, this doesn't lift up. Then what you do is you take your piece that you're going to put your construction strip on. This is my construction strip. And you measure it, the length of that. So you're going to cut it at 7 inches. And then you're just going to take your scissors and you're going to cut the end at a little bit of an angle like that on both ends. So you're cutting from the open part up to the score line to make a little bit of an angle. And then you're going to take one side of your backing off, and you're going to hold it in your hand with the score line facing you. And we're going to start right at the edge of this, and we're going to run this right down the edge, just as close as you can get it without going over. So you see, it's run right down through there, right down the edge. So just as smooth as you can get it. Just don't go over your score line. All right, so that construction strip is on. Now I want this to sit down in here just like this. And I want this piece of the construction strip to glue down like the rest of these did. So all I'm going to do is take my backing off of this. All right, then lay your piece down right at the edge, holding that construction strip up. Just lay that piece down right at the edge of that other one, making sure that they line up just like that, and then press that down. See how I just laid it down like that? Then when you lift that up, you've got that. So we're going to do that to this side too. Let's see, I think I already have one on right here. So we're going to go ahead and pull the backing off of this side. Then I'm holding that construction strip in my hand. And I'm going to lay this piece down even, just as even as I can get it with that one below. And if your piece seems like it's just a little bit long, the last one, the fourth one, may be just a little bit long. And the reason is because you've already got those construction strips on the side. Just trim it off just a tiny bit so that it fits down in there without pushing the sides out. There we go. Let's see if that worked. Yep, there we go. So there is that one, and this one's on the bottom. Now we need to put little construction strips right here on these side pieces to hold these together, just like I did right here. And you need to make those as smooth as you can, because remember, all of this is going to be painted over. So let's see. That needs to be cut off just a little bit. You need to cut these at 1 inch. And I just leave the ends on these square. I don't cut them at an angle. All right, I pulled the backing off of one side. I'm going to put it right up at the edge of the end of that chipboard right there. And I can see I've got a little bit sticking over, so I'm going to trim that off. You want it to be even. Then you pull the backing off of this side, and you're going to pull those corners together just as close as you can get them. Don't lap them over, just pull them together. And then you're going to lay that piece over just like that. See? If you have a little bit sticking up like I do right there, just go ahead and trim that off. Alright, then we're going to put one over here on this side. So let's cut it at 1 inch. Go ahead and run it on one piece of your chipboard, just like that. Pull the backing off of that other side. Pull those edges up together, those corners, holding them as best you can, and then fold that over. So that's what we have right there. And then we're going to do the bottom side the same way. Cut some 1 inch pieces. So there's the bottom finished, just like that. Really simple. And now these are your 2 inch by 10 inch pieces. These are the chipboard pieces. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do with them. These are going to be our corner pieces. So take a pen, then you're going to need a ruler. And you're going to measure in 1 inch from the side. Just make sure it's nice and straight, your ruler. 1 inch all the way down. And then you're going to draw a line. And I try to press down a little bit on my pen so that it'll go down into the chipboard just a little bit. It gives me a guide for my knife. Now you're going to take your X-Acto knife or a kitchen knife, just whatever you have. A rotary knife would be good, but just don't press on it. And you're going to hold that back up there, even with that line. And then you're going to take your knife and you're just going to slide it down. Real easy. Maybe 2 times. You don't want it to go all the way through, but you want it to just score that. So then you just take it and just fold it like that. Alright, and then you're going to need a construction strip to go down through here, because we want to make sure that this stays nice and closed up. We don't want it to break on us. So I'm just going to take one, and you're probably going to need about 30 1-inch construction strips. I don't ever count. I just make a bunch, and if I have left over, then I use them on my next project. But I would say about 30 1-inch by 12-inch strips. And you can use glue on these if you want to. You don't have to use score tape. It's just that I don't know how glue will hold. I don't know. I've never used them with just glue, so you just have to try some and see if it's going to hold nice and tight. Art glitter glue probably would. All right, this little bit right here that I don't have my score tape on, I'm going to go ahead and tape that down. I have used it like this with my score tape, but I've never used it just on its own. But you could always try it. It would probably work. All right, we're going to pull the backing off of this side, and then I'm going to go ahead and run my glue down through here, because I used 1/4-inch score tape on this one, so it didn't come quite out to the end. Now I'm going to start to fold this over, but I want to put it down in here to just get my corner evened up first. So see, I put it down in there and I line it up with my corner, making sure that that score line is in the corner, and then I know exactly where to fold it. You don't want to fold it too tight, and you don't want to have it too loose. Then you can just fold that over, and then I take my bone folder and I press it as best I can by holding it in my hand. So then those are gonna sit right there. And see, that's gonna be the side post of our lantern. And then we have the top that'll go on here. Now at this point, if you don't want to paint yours, if you want to cover it with paper, now's the time to go ahead and cover the bottom portion with paper. You can cover it in here, and then the outsides with paper if you want to do that. I'm going to paint all of mine, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to stop here. I'm just going to keep going, and then I will probably spray paint it. I'll probably put a coat of Collage Podge on top of it before I paint it, just because chipboard is so porous. It'll soak up that paint real quick. But I am going to paint mine, so we've not painted one before, so we don't know how it's going to look, but I think it'll be okay. All right, so these are going to sit in the corner just like that, and I'm going to hot glue and glue these in. So I'm going to go ahead and put my art glitter glue on here. On both sides. And then I'm going to grab my hot glue gun, and I'm going to squirt some hot glue on here. And then we're going to press these in to that corner and all the way down to the bottom. Just as tight as you can. If the glue squirts out, just rub it off. Okay, we're going to go around and do the other ones. Alright, so there are your side posts. And don't worry if one of them looks a little crooked, we'll even it up when we put this top on. Okay, now we're ready for the top, and this piece is the 7x7, just like the bottom. And you're going to do it the same way, except you're just going to put the construction strips on one side. You're not going to put them on the bottom side. So make sure I got all my construction strips cut. I think I do. 2, 3, 4, yeah. And then again, you put them on the same way. Run them right up to the edge of your chipboard. Reinforce them. If your score tape doesn't go all the way to the edge, then just put your glue on there. Okay, now you're ready for your 1" by 7" pieces to make the cap off for the top. So you're just going to pull the backing off of that, and I go ahead and run my glue down through there where that score tape ends. And then you're just going to take this piece and lay it down, even it up with the other piece of chipboard, all the way down through there, just like that. Make sure this is even. And there's one. And then this one is a 1/2" score tape, so I won't have to do any glue, extra glue on it. There we go. That down. I'm going to go ahead and burnish these. And one more. Alright, so there is that. Now all we need to do is pull these corners together. And I'm going to grab a few little scrap pieces over here. We need 1", so let's see. That one is close to 1", so I'm going to trim off the angle because we don't need that angle. And then I'm just going to cut 3 more of these. Okay, then pull the backing off of one side. Go ahead and put your little bit of glue down there. And then this is going to lay right up at the edge of that. Looks like I got it a little bit long, so if you've got it a little long, let that long length come out at the top, because then you can just trim it off with your scissors. Okay. Then we'll pull the backing off of this side, put our glue down, and then holding these corners just as flush as we can get them. And a lot of times it's easier if you sit it down on your table. And then just fold that over. And I've still got a little piece right there that I need to trim off. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to cut these a little bit shorter because I think I got them just a little bit too long. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on these other 3 corners. Okay, there's your top piece, and then we're going to pull this back in, and it's going to sit on top of this just like this. And see, like I was telling you, if these are a little bit off at the bottom, you're going to be able to glue them in there and level them up right there, just like that. So we're going to glue these into this, just like we did the bottom. That's the start of your lantern. Isn't that cute? Alright, so before I glue that on, we're going to go ahead and make the other 2 pieces, and then we may come back and finish up tomorrow. Now, this is just some scrap chipboard. It's just white because it was scrap. Not that I meant for it to be white. It is just white because it was a scrap piece. And you hear I've still got construction going on in the background. But I couldn't wait any longer to start getting some of these videos up for you guys. So I'm going to cut more construction strips. And I'll tell you the sizes of this piece. Now, you could probably glue all of this together with hot glue. Just glue these on like this. But I don't think it would hold very long. So that's why I want this to last a long time. And that's why I'm putting it together like this. Okay, this piece right here is 5 by 5. And then these pieces are 1 inch by 5. And they're going to go on the corners just like that. Alright, I've gone ahead and put my construction strips around the edges, just like we did on that bottom piece. Now, let me know in the comments below if this construction is a little bit too much for you guys. If it is, then I'll just wait until they finish to film anymore. I can hear it myself, but I don't know how loud you can hear it. Alright, then we're just going to take our pieces and we're going to lay those down just like we did on the side, on the bottom. So lay them down just like that. So take that score tape off. And started it right at the end, just even with that other piece of chipboard. And then you're going to do this all the way around to all 4 pieces. Alright, there you go. You've got your 4 1 inch by 5 inch pieces on, and now you're going to do your corners just like we did those before. We're just going to grab some scraps and cut them the length that we need and then put our corners together. Alright, so there is the other top piece, and what this piece is going to do is it's going to sit right here centered up on top of that one, and then we've got a smaller one that's going to go up here, so it's going to be a little 3-tier at the top, just like that. So we'll do this small one just like we did that one, and then we will be ready to put everything together and do our painting. Alright, so there's your little top piece, the 3 by 3 piece, and we're going to poke a couple holes in here, and I'm going to put a ring in it, and that's going to be the very top to where it will looks like it's got a little ring at the top that you hold it by. So let me see if I can hold it over this way. So that's what it's going to look like. Alright, so we are going to leave it off right there for today, and then we're going to take up tomorrow and we will finish gluing all of these 3 pieces together, and then we will start decorating everything. I'll paint it and then I'll start decorating. Okay guys, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to click that little bell so that you'll be notified when we put up new videos. And we will finish this tomorrow. Thanks for